Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome back to Lady Arcader's Attract Mode. I am ClockworkOphelia, and I am really happy to, welcome y'all in today. If you're new here, welcome. This is Lady Arcaders, and Lady Arcaders is an all-women's gaming collective that runs weekly showcases and the occasional charity event. We strive to uplift and encourage women in all their gaming endeavors by cultivating a supportive environment in which to showcase their talents. And speaking of charity events, I just want to remind everyone that the Lady Arcaders Super Showcase is back and fundraising for care from July 25th to 28th. This Super Showcase is a charity talent event. You're welcome to submit any type of showcase as long as it's game related. Want to go fast? Want to show off your Animal Crossing town? Want to paint a mural, compose some music, bake a video game related pie? Want to show off your game dev skills? Submit to the Super Showcase. We want to show you off and your talents, gamer. Submit to the showcase and volunteers are open until Sunday, May 5th at 11:59 Eastern Time. !LASS in chat for details. And as always, submissions for Attract Mode showcases are open. Are you looking to record a submission video for an upcoming event, or maybe just show off something you're fond of? Get those submissions in ASAP. We're currently scheduling for the month of May. Find a link at theladyarcaders.com/start. We want to show off the games you love in all the ways you love them. And today we have Ori and the Blind Forest. Melody is going to be running a Seinless Bashless Stompless category, which is very impressive in a technical movement heavy game that's known for its escape sequence and, the iconic bash ability, which is one of the three things that they're not going to be getting. So today we have Melody and Critique Quartz on comms. Take it away.
Hi, thank you. Yes. So, real quickly before we get started, so I'm joined by Critique Quartz. Thank you so much for helping with commentary. Hi.
Of course.
So, as was mentioned, so this is Seinless Bashless Stompless. We will not be collecting either of those three skills. But what we must do is get the 6 world events, the 3 dungeon keys and the 3 dungeon events, and then just beat the game. So, I think that's all we need for an introduction. Unless I'm forgetting anything.
I can't think of anything.
Alright. So timing will start when I select the normal difficulty. I will count us in 3, 2, 1, go. So the very first thing we're going to do is skip the prologue, because it's very sad.
Well, it's also slow.
That's important, but, it's very sad. Okay, so the first thing you'll notice is that my UI is off. I can toggle it on and off. There's just a button for that, Alt-U. And for the most part, we're going to have our UI off because it skips most of the dialogue and a lot of little pieces of things that are annoying. This is an energy cell. Use it to save. Now I have no energy.
She has to save there, by the way. The game will not let her progress if she does not.
So, if you've played this game, you know that over here is Sign. Say hi to Sign.
Hi, Sign.
Bye, Sign.
Bye, Sign.
We actually only came over there to get that 15 XP. We currently require 25 XP to level. So that 15 XP is a little over half of it. And we're going to be getting some more XP in a moment. But first we need to get that energy back so that we can use this jump pad that's covered in brambles. So Sign is your basic weapon. So right now we can't do anything really.
Yeah, Melody has no way to deal direct damage to anything. One of the only ways she can deal damage is through level ups, which is why that XP is important. When she levels up, there's a blast of light that does damage to everything across the screen, which actually cleared those brambles for her, so she is now safe to progress.
Yeah. And that is very important because later on we're going to need to come back through here. So there's supposed to be some keystones here. The trigger for those keystones is collecting Sign. However, if you know where they are, you save and reload. They're there for 1 frame and you can pick them up. I've now stored the ability menu, which is this menu here. So I'm moving behind it if you kind of look closely. I'm going to use this to save where the other keystone is, because leveling up an ability saves the game. And that will allow me to get the second keystone, put those in the door, and we can now progress out of this starting area. Out of this area,
Yay,
everything
we're
is
free.
basically normal, except for the fact that we still can't attack anything.
Why do you need to attack anything? This is secretly a pacifism.
Pacifist?
This is a nice run. Yes, that word.
This is not a pacifist run. We will definitely be killing things.
Unfortunate. The secret is we kill Ori a lot.
Alright. We're gonna try a dodge, but so the health routing is very specific here, so just taking that damage probably means I'm in trouble. But we'll give it a try. We're now at 1 health. And there's a slime here that's going to shoot me. Yeah.
Oh no. The early sections of this game are routed very specifically. The EXP is needed for the level ups, and then the health and energy is needed for saves and damage boost. And unfortunately, it's just one of those things where our last save was where the keystone was, so.
Yeah, and
oh well.
We will not get any energy until we get to our first skill tree, wall jump. So.
Ori needs to show off the health, though. I think that animation is the cutest.
It's very good. Like, look at what I found! After
That's
getting...
health, Ori, you don't...
After that slime... the slime being mean to me earlier, I decided to just, you know, play it safe.
We have rankings on how mean the slimes are in this game. Well, I have rankings. I don't know if everybody else agrees with them. I think this is number 3, this one against the wall here.
But that slime is not that bad on the way down. That slime is a lot worse on the way up, so be prepared for that slime being very, very mean. Alright, this is wall jump.
This is the spirit tree.
It lets us jump up walls. It's pretty self-explanatory. We actually can't leave here without it, so. And that's our second energy. So we now have 2 energy, and our saves still cost 1 energy, so we can save twice.
Yay, double saving.
So I think we haven't mentioned that on respawning from death, you get iframes.
No, we have not. Those are very important. Earlier, Mel used them as a way to get through a jump pad, because without those iframes, you actually get launched off the jump pad. But there she used the wall jump ability, which gives Ori a kind of like small wall run off the corner of a wall, and the iframes off the save to get through there and not take damage.
Yeah, so that let us carry 3 health up here. One of those health is just for safety, but the other one is for a damage boost I'm going to do in a moment if this Frankie decides to be cooperative.
Be nice, Frankie.
He was fine. So we could pull that stone and do that nice and slowly, but instead we can just jump up that wall with our iframes, level up to get out of there, and we did all of that for that keystone. I will note that this is like a slightly alternative route to, there's a route that skips that, but has some other damage boosts that this slime, this is, I think, the meanest slime.
This is, I think, on the current ranking, 4 and 5, but they're in start competition.
So I need this top slime to damage boost me back into these brambles because I can't run through them with my iframes otherwise. He's just
It is
not
not
quite
cooperating.
cooperating.
Very unfortunate. I
That
thought
one was
maybe that one, but no.
I just walked into that. I forgot to jump.
It's okay. Mel, have you mentioned your history with this game at all? I know you've done a lot of routing and stuff. Oh wait, never mind. We might not have time for that.
Yeah, we're through. All right. So I grabbed an extra health for safety there, and I'm gonna grab one more. We need 2 health because there's another damage boost coming up, but I like having an extra one because there are some other slimes that are very mean. And we have our first out of bounds of this game. This is one of my favorite out of bounds in the game. I'm going to save and reload against that wall, and we're just out of bounds.
There you go.
There's really nothing special happening there. It is just a save against a wall.
There's some out of bounds that you can do casually in the game. There's a section of the game that changes as you progress through it, and I accidentally saved beneath the floor and then came back and my save was actually beneath the floor. But these are 1 and 2 Mina slimes respectively, so we are rooting for you. Maybe they will be nice this time.
They're cooperating so far.
Yeah. And that orb Mel picked up is...
The spider's not cooperating.
Spider is not. It's actually making these platforms appear. It does make some sections, like the wall, if you look at the bottom of the screen, disappear. And so that's like a mechanic that is only used in this section of the game. Kind of interesting going through it casually. Yeah. Spider, please be nice.
Going
Spider.
through this casually, I couldn't imagine doing this without signs, so I'm just kind of sitting here in awe.
I mean, if you play the game like I do, where you just kind of forget sign exists.
I grabbed that 12 XP, so I need to drop 12 XP later.
Okay.
Which is probably just the 19 and Misty.
Okay.
So there is an XP route that I'm going to carry for like 30-ish minutes.
It's very important.
And
There's
at the
one
very
room.
end, there is a... So this is going to sound a lot worse than it actually is. There is a 9 XP window that I have to hit. Thankfully, I have, like... I can have a decent amount of leeway that I can make up without too much time loss. That slime will always shoot you there if you just walk right past. So something we haven't talked about is our saves. So our saves are sign if we save and reload or if we die. If that sounds weird, it is. But that save right now has the properties of sign because we don't have sign, which is important because this orb, when you drop it, it despawns and then it travels back to sign. It might seem like it travels back to Ori if you've played the game, but that's just because Ori has sign. We just dropped it and it just despawned. And if we didn't have the save reloaded here, then it would go back to the other save we had. And if we did it right now, it would take about 8 seconds for it to despawn and then reload after we reloaded the save. So that save is very important to save some time. All right, I'm going to stack a bunch of cutscenes. I just saved in the middle of that cutscene and then reloaded to skip the first bit of it. And now we're going to stack a cutscene right here with that cutscene And then this is going to cancel all out. Oh no.
No?
We took... Oh.
No, the door.
Yeah.
Unfortunate, but not the end of the world. There's this lever Mel has to pull to open the door somewhat, and then using the new ability she just got, she needs to get through this area.
Yeah. Alright. We also took some damage there, which was bad, but we have fixed that. This door is now permanently open. And there's a boulder here. So if this boulder hits us, it kills us.
Indiana Jones.
Weirdly, if this boulder hits this thing that hits us, it doesn't kill us. And we're now out of bounds. That save is now out of bounds, and we're in bounds, yeah. I'm gonna go get this teleporter. We need it for the very end of the game. And then we're gonna go back and save. So there's a mechanic rekindle, which is in the ability tree. It's the very first thing we got. And it lets us save on our, like, resave on an already used save location. So we can use that and then die. And now we're back out of bounds. And if we just kind of dash into this corner and hold down, we'll just fall to the floor.
Don't forget to get the keystone.
I will. I will also miss the fast cycle here.
One day you'll get it.
I'll get it when nobody's watching.
Yeah.
There's a fast cycle that, so all of these cycles are about 8 seconds. And you can just get a slightly earlier cycle. But 8 seconds isn't that big a deal, until you get up to like very competitive times in this game.
So we're going to go get our third ability of the run. We have wall jump, dash, and this is double jump, which is very important for getting out of the area.
Yes. Like a lot of things, you kind of need double jump to get out of the area that you find double jump in. So we out of bounds into this area, so we're kind of like not supposed to be here, but you really only need wall jump to be here. So, well, and then double jump to leave. So it wasn't really an issue that we, I keep messing up my dash glides. I should explain what a dash glide is as well. So when you dash, you have a 13 frame window where if you go to neutral inputs and jump, you will maintain your momentum. There's also a fancy little jump I'm gonna do here off of this little lip.
So if you've played Ori, you've noticed that sometimes the walls are a little finicky, and that's because the geometry is exactly what it looks like. There's actually a spot that you can jump off there and then jump around using double jump, and that's how Mel was able to get past that. You're really supposed to go do the left side, and there's some thorns that kill you immediately if you fall into them. It's great fun.
Yeah, that just skipped a huge section of left grotto. And we're doing this part forwards, but we're about to hit the point where you're supposed to enter grotto. And at that point, we'll be starting to do things backwards. So you're gonna start to see our guy Gumo here. We're gonna start to see multiple of him. Because one Gumo is giving us the water vein, while the other Gumo is waiting to drop us down into grotto. We're not gonna let him. We're gonna save and skip that cutscene.
If you look carefully, you saw her go off to the left. That was a bunch of blind movement, which is really cool.
We're gonna take a quick detour.
And this is just to grab the next energy cell, right?
Yep. This is just one of the fastest energy cells we can get.
Mm-hmm. No. There you go.
Oops. Missed the platform. And now we need to go do a whole bunch of ability cell and XP collection. So we're gonna grab some XP and level up a bit.
This geometry is not being nice to you.
It's not being especially kind, no.
Yeah. If you haven't played Ori, there's actually two types of pickups like that. There's EXP, which gives you so much to a level, and then there's ability cells, which are the big glowing orange ones. Like Mel said, we're gonna go do some cleanup, I guess.
Yeah, so I have an ability cell I'm going to kind of sequence break to here. And then we're gonna go grab a teleporter. Fun little trick here. Normally, everyone thinks you have to push this rock in, but you can actually just dash through the little opening there. And I'm going to save and teleport so that I stack those animations so I don't have to save. It's just a little faster. And we're teleporting back to Glades, where we were before. We're gonna do that same trick to get through this. And we're going to head back to where we started everything. Unfortunately, if you look in the top right, I only have one keystone right now. And I kind of need two for this next door. And there isn't a good one to grab. So instead we're going to just duplicate our keystone. So we're going to do this by putting it into the door with the save far away and dying. And now we have two keystones. That trick is a staple of Ori runs, and we will be using it later to get a lot of keystones. So originally, after we got wall jump, this is where we were supposed to go according to the game. So we're kind of finally
Back on the critical path.
yeah.
There's 4 keystones in this room, and Mel is going to get all of them. Just avoiding these lasers. And do you need that ability cell?
Yeah.
Okay. No. There's actually a small lip there that she is trying to wall jump off of. It's much harder than it looks. There you go. You got it.
I got it.
But yeah, this is mostly as intended with the addition of double jump and dash. And that's it for this room.
Yep. And our current goal is to get Charge Flame. So Charge Flame is another thing that originates from Sign. So it won't be that useful to us because we don't have Sign. But it is essential to this run for a couple of reasons. The first is that the ability tree... Oh, there's a cutscene here. We're going to skip this. This one just has
This is the easiest cutscene and skip in the game.
Yeah. There's just a skip cutscene button. There's actually another way to skip that saves even more time, but it would lock us out of this teleporter, and we need this teleporter later. So.
This teleporter is so important to the run. That's hilarious.
This teleporter is very important to the run.
So yeah, Charge Flame. It's down here. There's a Frankie that is going to come and open this log for us, and we're just gonna fall down. We're gonna follow the Frankie and get the spirit tree.
So I'm using that save trick, where I can save using the ability menu to skip the cutscene of this. And this lets us do some blind movement, which is important because there's a wall there that we would have had to break with Charge Flame, which would be really annoying because we kind of can't use Charge Flame. When I say we kind of can't use it, I mentioned that our saves are Sign. So it turns out if we save and reload or save and die, that we can use Charge Flame originating from our save locations.
So there's actually two enemies behind this screen. There's a Frankie and an Owlet, and they are trying to kill Ori, and they're very good at it. Mel is trying to manipulate the Frankie to open that stump so she can get the ability cell there and avoid the owl. There's a lot going on, and it's very hard to see. So she's gonna go ahead and do a trick called a Terra Clip. I'll let her explain that, but she's basically trying to save against this wall right now. And now she's gonna go die again. We kill Ori so much in this run.
We are now out of bounds. There's a little invisible wall. Actually, we're going to save because this is going to be really rough with 1 HP. Yeah. And now, since I've already saved, we're going to take a backup save there.
That backup save is just so these frogs aren't as scary.
The rhino got me.
But I don't think the rhino has gotten you in a while.
And now I'm going to do a trick called the rocket jump. I will explain all of this in a moment. Actually, we can actually explain that right now because I forgot I have to go to this teleporter. So I've leveled up charge dash, which is this like high powered dash. If you do a charge dash towards an enemy, and they auto target enemies, and then you cancel it with a jump, it will just cancel the downwards deacceleration of the rocket jump, and you just go flying into the sky. That is another staple of Ori runs. It's very important. All right, next, very important, these rocks. We need to destroy these rocks. You normally destroy those rocks with Stomp. We do not have Stomp. You can also destroy it with Charge Jump. We do not have Charge Jump. Instead, we're going to take a Spider Shot. We're going to redirect it with Charge Flame from a save location. We're then going to unload a wall that's in between the rocks, and we missed it. You will know when we get it.
Yes, this is one of those tricks that when Mel first started like including me on her practices, she's like, "You'll know when I get this," and you do. This is also kind of the point where the run just goes off the rails. Everything we've seen so far has been interesting. There's been a few out of bounds. There's been a few like really interesting movement pieces. The iframe abuse, the save anywhere, that Terra clip we just saw. But like
that shot looked
after
really
that
good.
rocket jump into this is great.
No.
The spider is just being really mean.
No, that was too high.
So part of this is as soon as she loads the save, she's jumping to bait the shot where she wants it, and then she's redirecting it with Charge Flame off the save. She wastes a little bit of time there, and then she dashes.
There we go.
There you go.
So Ori teleports with that cutscene, crashes into Kuro. We get our feather, that is our next skill, and we can now continue on our way. However, we are currently out of, well, not out of energy. We have an energy, 1.5 energy, something like that. So I need to go back to this teleporter and save. Normally you can get to that teleporter by just bashing here. But we have to continue to return to the bottom, get a frog, and rocket jump. So.
And it doesn't have to be a perfect rocket jump. With Kuro's feather and the height you get, it's pretty much enough
Okay.
to get back to the teleporter.
I'm gonna do a backflip into a dash into a glide, which keeps my momentum so I don't deaccelerate. And we're now in Misty.
Yeah, Misty. There is a section here that gives me some motion sickness, so if that's something you're prone to, you might want to look away for a little bit. But otherwise... Hey, Mel!
Yeah? Did you know
How
you
long
can
did
duck
you know
under
you-
those?
I didn't. My girlfriend didn't tell me while I was running through the game casually.
Today I learned.
That's my favorite rocket jump in the game. We want to
That's very-
skip that XP. Now we're going to save here. We're going to kill a poor bird. Really, the bird.
No, the bird...
The bird kind of decides, yeah.
Yeah, the bird does it. Yeah. a damage boost through the brambles to grab this ability cell, and then...
And you will notice that this area's been kind of rearranging itself. That means that we just went back, but this is no longer like where we came from. Instead, this is actually where we want to be. But we don't have enough keystones to go through that door, even though we can out of bounds to get it. I'm backing these up. These terra clips can soft lock you if you mess them up. Especially this one. I have to set this up manually. So terra clip is where I save and dash on the same frame so that when I die or I have what we call a hyperspeed. That looks good. And I'm doing this a specific distance from the wall, and by dying far enough away, the wall is unloaded. So I dash that full distance through the wall on the first frame that I load in on. You can't really see that because we're out of bounds, and we're now just in the void. This is where Misty would be, but we haven't loaded any of that part in yet. And it happens that it leads to the end of the second dungeon.
Yeah.
This is the end of Forlorn. This is the start of the escape, and it's where we get the world event. This escape is very annoying, especially without Bash. And we're just not gonna do it.
We're just not gonna do it. How do you just not do it?
So part of this cutscene includes a bit where it goes out of this room right here. It turns out Ori is teleported to another part of Forlorn during that, so if we save, we're just here. By a keystone door. I think we need keystones, don't we?
We do need keystones.
Very convenient.
Are we getting keystones?
Yes. So we call this the key factory. It turns out if you save there, you can dupe keys on this door. I'm going to dupe 5 keys total.
No. Mel is intentionally taking damage, so she dies from the spider shot when the door is filled with keystones.
All right, now for, I think, probably the weirdest part of this run. So I'm going to pick up this orb, I'm going to save and teleport on the same frame. That gives me the ability to move Ori. I'm going to take this gravity orb, I'm going to get leftward gravity, and then I'm going to carry it through the teleport. This is going to allow me to fall back into Misty, which we unloaded, and back to that keystone door that we just left. And we're then going to use the keystones we just duped to go get this, Asu's torch, so we can then carry that back. However, carrying this orb is very slow. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up both orbs, I'm going to save. I now have the gravity orb, but if I die and drop them, I will have Atsu's torch. So now I have Atsu's torch without having to hold it. We call this hands-free. And I can just bring it all the way here and put it in.
Okay, so fun fact. Before we got into Misty, we only had one world event, which was the water vein. And as we leave Misty, we will have 3 world events. We will be halfway done with the run.
Yep, there we go. There's our third. Definitely the halfway point of the run.
Yeah, exactly.
If I've done this correctly, yes. We have broken our camera. Ori is now stuck on the right side. And saving fixes that. So.
Yeah.
All right.
Unfortunate, but whatever. It can't be much harder.
All right, we are now going into Sorrow. This is supposed to be kind of the last area you go to before you go to the final dungeon, because this has the key to the final dungeon at the top. This whole area revolves around breaking these consecutive ceilings in order to raise the wind higher and higher. These ceilings. I can't break it because I don't have Stomp to go from the top. I also can't break it from the bottom, so I'm gonna bait that frog shot up there to hit just the little corner of it in order to get through there.
It's really interesting how much the early part of this run is actually just baiting enemies' projectiles and managing them to get them to do what you want to to break whatever geometry you need, because it's a big portion of the run. But
More frog shots.
yeah,
And finally,
this
at the 32-minute mark, we've gotten our first weapon that we can just use on demand. We can now kill things.
your first source of on-demand damage. Let's go. But we still have to carry our XP routing because of, again, a very specific room in the, well, the next dungeon we go to.
Were you about to call it the final dungeon because
I was about to call it the final dungeon.
it's like the only dungeon we actually do? Spoilers.
Yeah.
All right. I just saved below that ceiling, died while charge jumping, and I carry the charge jump damage aura through my death, and that allows me to break that ceiling. Very fun trick. We call that a Terra break. All of these tricks that are named Terra, they are not named that because of like the planet. They are named that after a runner, Terra. He has found a number of the like game-breaking tricks and skips in this game, and a lot of things are named after him. There are Terra breaks, Terra clips, Terra jumps, all sorts of things. All right.
And that is the 4th world event, correct?
Yep. We now have 4 of them. We just need to get the we need to finish the Ginso tree because the final the end of the Ginso, though, like clean water, or sorry, the water escape is where you get clean water, and then we need to go to Horu, but we will be doing those in that order because, as it turns out, starting the final escape somewhat locks you in it. There's some ways out of that, but they're a big pain. So we would prefer to end the game with that. So we're going to go to the Ginso tree.
To the tree.
Okay. There's a cutscene right here.
She just jumped over the trigger. That was it.
Yeah. Normally there's some like ways to skip that, but you can just jump over it. All right. So the reason we saved the Ginso tree for this long is we actually couldn't do it until we got charge jump. But charge jump also just lets us like completely do things as the devs did not intend. That poor spider.
Unfortunate. It had no chance.
What's our energy at? All right. We're gonna give this one try and then I'm gonna do the out of bounds. So normally you have to use these blocks to solve this puzzle, but there's a cool solution.
No.
You can get that to hit that block and just go to there. But instead we're just gonna do an out of bounds. Oh, I forgot to save.
We're kind of mean to Ori in this run. Like, we're squishing Ori against a wall. That's kind of mean.
There we go. Ori just took a little bit to get out of bounds. All right,
I
there's
know
a mini
they're
boss here. There is no longer a mini boss here. You can use charge jump. Basically increases the damage of anything else you're doing. So you can use charge jump into charge dash to just do a ton of damage. And that charge jump aura sticks around for a little bit, so it's very effective. All right. We're using some of those duped keys along with some keys we're collecting. That's Bash.
Hi, Bash. Bye, Bash. You didn't even see Stomp to say hi to Stomp.
We get kind of close. We can say hi when we're in a swamp.
Okay.
These enemies are being mean.
So usually you would actually be using Bash to hit these lanterns and gain height with Ori, or redirect the Ginsu Slug's projectiles to either bash off them again or hit something to destroy it. But again, we don't have Bash. We don't want Bash. Bash is not in our future, so we are rocket jumping and charge jumping through the runestones and getting another charge jump off that bramble to open the key door.
Alright. And I'm gonna grab this energy, and then we're going to go fight our second mini boss. One day I'll get this
One cycle?
Yeah. And we're just gonna watch this cutscene here. And
So
now is the moment of truth. Is my XP in a good spot?
how is your XP?
107. That is perfect.
Okay. Let's go. If it wasn't obvious, this is the room that Mel has been saving or keeping the EXP routing consistent for. She needs to kill that Fronky and absorb its EXP so the level up goes across the screen, and she doesn't have to do the right room, because the right room is very difficult with Bash and probably impossible. Well, it's not impossible, but still very difficult without it.
Yeah. Alright, this is the Ginso escape. I have, at least for the first attempt of this, unloaded the water. This just makes this slightly less stressful, but it's not actually any faster. This escape, the beginning of this escape is kind of made really easy by all of the skills we have.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
then we hit a point where the game's like, oh yeah, you were supposed to, you're supposed to have Bash. And
I
we're
mean,
going to
you
just
are
damage
supposed to
boost.
have Bash.
And we're done. Just climb to the top
And-
and skip the cutscene.
That is Water Restored, which is the 5th world event. We only have one left, and that's Mount Haru. It's past a very difficult section of the map. You need Bash for, how are we gonna get there?
Alright. So there is a very broken glitch in this game called warp displacement. So you've seen teleport anywheres where I'm like saving or doing something to allow myself to actually, what is my energy? All right, my energy is fine. We're gonna just clip out of swamp real quick while I start talking about the next thing.
That worked nice.
Yeah. So it turns out if I use that glitch where I'm able to move while the teleport is happening, and I then stand on an object that has physics, so one of like the swinging platforms or something like that, then I can manipulate where my teleport goes. There's a cutscene there.
Another cutscene.
Yeah. Had to jump over that.
It makes the lasers go. It's a good idea to jump over it.
All right. So, like 25 minutes ago, we got the teleporter down here at Blackroot Burrows. That was because I need this teleporter in order to do that warp displacement. So I'm going to teleport from here back to the tree. Then I'm going to swing this platform. And if I'm doing this correctly, Ori's teleport gets rotated upwards by the difference between where my normal angle is and where it normally would be. So basically we rotate Ori's normal angle, and then we are able to rotate our teleport, and we get to the final dungeon. Oh, my UI is on. This dungeon's really hard, but not for a speedrun, because there's a trick called door warp, where if I go through this door on the first frame, which I'm a little late on both of these attempts, it just takes me to the end of the dungeon.
Final escape.
Yep.
It was that easy to get to.
That glitch exists on basically every door in the game, but it goes to a unique location per door, and it always goes to that same spot. A couple doors, that location is where the door normally goes to. But yeah, that's one of the most useful ones.
Okay, so this final escape is probably one of the hardest sections of the speedrun. Mel has no bash, no stomp, no sign, so she is reliant on charge jumps and rocket jumps to get through this. She's also cannot take any damage up to a certain. Actually, she can't take any damage except for the planned damage boost, which is 4 damage. She only has 5 health, so very unfortunate. But the fish could make or break this. But yeah, no.
It was a little slow on the earlier bit, and that messed up that cycle.
Yeah. This is all based off of cycles. The kind of reset that when you die. Some load it in as you go through the map. Also, each of these rooms are on a timer, if you don't know that. If you haven't played the game, that big owl is named Kuro. She is here to get rid of the light, which is Ori in this case. And she will spin and kill Ori. No matter your health, if you take too long on any of these screens. But this is the planned damage boost. And we are into the section. Oh, I guess it's not. Now, Mel has no way to interact with these fish. Unfortunately, you have that, so you can throw them away from you, but unfortunately, if you get too close to this, just seems to happen.
Yeah, I'm at 1 health, so I can't take any more hits.
She needs that boost to get past fire iron. That damage boost to get past fire iron. And unfortunately, the fish cycle starts right around this point. They can deal with more typically, you'd have dash to get through fire iron. Oh, like dash is important somehow. Never design a category that like completely ignores it, right?
I thought I could dodge that fish that way where he was. He's being mean. Sure would be nice if the fish was, you know, not mean. Also, that bit about like walls being temperamental. Those walls are all about as bad to jump on as they look.
Okay, Mel, 1 second. It looks like there is some issues. We might have to go to pause break.
Okay.
Like you might be okay.
Are we good?
Yeah.
I can keep going. All right.
Technical difficulties. What are you gonna do?
Is it truly a screen without them?
Nope,
No,
never.
I don't think so.
Actually, jumping around this rock face here deloads Kuro this room, so Mel's not on timer, which is why she can spend a little bit of extra time trying to jump around this lip, too.
Unfortunately, the fish cycle still gets messed up, so it's kind of, you know...
Yeah, but the fish are mean anyways. The fish are, like, consistently mean. I think the fish rank higher than the #1 slime on things that are easy.
I might agree with that. We are past the fish. We've also unloaded Kuro in this room. So this is actually a very hard jump, but there's like a little trick to make it easy, and it's just not working for me. So, you know, sometimes actual hard jump is hard. There we go. Yeah, you have to get basically max height on that jump in order to get there. And if you get ramped along the wall, you will not get quite max height. You have to get like only ramped on the top of the wall. I don't understand exactly why that jump works the way it works.
So this is the end of the game. Time is coming up when Naru walks behind the tree. But yeah, congrats.
Thanks. Yeah, so that's Seinless Bashless Stompless. This is a amazing speedrun. This game is amazing to speedrun. I would not recommend starting with this category. Pretty much anything that involves out of bounds is tricky to learn because a lot of the out of bounds are very unforgiving. But there's a lot of more friendly categories to get into in this game.
It's worth noting time has not actually been called yet. Time is when Ori's mom walks behind the tree, not Ori.
Yes. So this is Ori's mom. Kinda. Adoptive mom, I guess. Anyway.
She's Ori's mom. It's fine.
And there's a tree up here, and time will be now.
Jeez.
Thanks. So I'd like to shout out all of the Ori runners, but especially everyone who has run SPS at any point. This is a category that I initially came up with years ago based on a like Seinless variant in the base Ori game. And it's gone through a lot of reroutes and a lot of changes, and it just remains one of my favorite categories because you have to do so many weird, cool things. I think it's one of those where it shows off a very different side of the game than most of the very movement heavy, like charge, dash, stomp categories.
That was.
I do want to say, congrats on getting back to it. I know de-rusting has been really difficult for you, but I'm really proud of you for doing it.
Thanks.
That was an absolutely fantastic run. Melody, where can everybody find you today?
I guess I think I'm at Melton Tarragon on basically any social media or Twitch or YouTube. If I'm not, I'm probably just not on there. I don't really stream much. But yeah, I guess those are most of the ways you can find me. That or just show up at a GDQ and find me there.
And Critique, how about you?
If you want to follow me, I am at Critique Quartz on Blue Sky and on Twitter, and then Twitch and YouTube as well.
That is fantastic. Thank you everybody so much for coming in today for the showcase, enjoying this Seinless Bashless Stompless run, which was fantastic. We are going to go into a quick break before we find someone to raid you out, so stick around and we will see y'all soon. Bye. Hello again, everyone. Welcome back. If you're just joining us, I'm sorry. It is the end of the showcase. It is the end of Attract Mode for tonight. However, we do have a raid target we will be sending y'all off to shortly. But before we do that, I just do want to put out some announcements, specifically about Attract Mode. We run these events all throughout the years on Thursday nights at 9 p.m. and Sunday afternoon at 2 p.m. Eastern to catch lots of awesome ladies showcasing off awesome games. Do you have a speedrun you want to show off? Do you want to show off something in Animal Crossing? Do you want to paint a mural? Do anything art related? Compose some music, cross stitch, anything like that? Want to show off something game dev related? Please visit ladyarcaders.com for more details. We would love to have you. And next up on Attract Mode, we have Astrid the Horror Girl, who will be speedrunning Alone in the Dark. This is the most recent installment of the long-running horror franchise. It's a remake of the original 1992 game that helped pioneer the horror genre in gaming. Astrid will be playing as Emily in the New Game Plus NMG category, and that will be on Sunday, April 21st at 2 p.m. Eastern for a very scary time. It'll be very, very fun. Now, we are going to be sending y'all off to Emmy Divergent, who is doing a Resident Evil 2 first-time playthrough. I hope y'all have a great time over there, and we will see you again soon. Bye, everyone.